All right, so as you can see, Constantine was a real demon, basically. Yeah. You know, they're the ones that are responsible for this Trinity thing, this pagan Trinity doctrine. You know, him and all them so-called church fathers back then that had the authority, you know, that they had back then. So now what I want to do is we're going to go through some scriptures, and we're going to show you in the scriptures that Israel was worshiping them same gods back then. All right? And that these nations, that their gods basically are nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Psalms 96, verses 4 and 5. Psalms chapter 96, verses 4 and 5, to show you that whole thing, that these nations, their gods are nothing but idols. So go ahead, Elder Menadazar.
Okay, come. Psalms chapter 96, verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. Mm-hmm. He is to be feared above all gods.
Right, so the Most High is the one to be feared. Why? Above all gods. Why? Go ahead.
It says, he is to be feared above all gods, for all the gods of the nations are idols.
For all the gods of the nations are idols, including Semiramis, including Nimrod, including Tammuz, including Pluto, Jupiter, Zeus, Apollos, Athena, Nimrod, the Persephones, all them, Persephones, you know, Baal, Ashtoreth, you know, Diana, all them are nothing but idols. Baphomet, even the gods that these witches worship. All right, go ahead.
Right, it says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens.
But the Lord, Yahweh, made the heavens. All right, so now go from there to Jeremiah 10 and 2. So these, being that these gods of these nations are nothing but idols, why are you going to worship them? Now, Amaziah was a great king, right? He did great things. He was taking crackers, Edomites, and throwing them off of mountains, and they were splattering off of the rocks. Yeah. And they were bursting. You hear it was just like in the World Trade Center when people were jumping off, they were coming down, and all you hear was splat, but it sounded like gunshots. Pow! Pow! Yep. Pow! And that's when them Edomites was falling off that cliff that he was pushing them off of. That's where they got the idea for 300. You know, when they was pushing, in the movie was they were pushing them Persians off. Those are really Edomites that were being pushed off by Jake. Amaziah did a great thing. Yeah. But then he turned around after he did all that and worshipped the gods that they were worshiping. You know? So why are you going to worship the gods of these nations, and the gods of these nations are nothing but idols? Right. And anytime, Elder Menadazar, you feel free to, you know, if you interject.
No, come.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1 and 2.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word of the Lord. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Mm-hmm. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right, learn not the way of the heathen. Why not? Because their gods are what? Idols. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, because you're seeing now all these things that are happening around the world, these different eclipses, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, so-called shooting stars, comets, and all that, UFO alignments of the stars, of the planets, UFO sightings, and all that other stuff. Don't be dismayed by that. Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
For the heathen are dismayed at them. Because when you see these things happening, know that your salvation is near. Is that it?
No, no. Okay. It says, for the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of the people are vain. So now go from there to Judges chapter 2, verses 1 to 3, and we're going to jump down from there.
Just read the verse.
Yeah, bring it out, brother, bring it out.
It says, but the Lord is the true God, the true power.
The Lord is the true God of the true power. Yahweh. The word Lord is in all capital. That's Yahweh. The Lord, Yahweh, is the true power. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
He is the living power and an everlasting king.
He is a living power and an everlasting king. Go ahead.
At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation.
So them nations ain't going to rule. Why? Because the Most High, when he comes back, he going to take them out. You know? Because it's time for them to go down, and it's time for us, the Israelites, to come up. All right, now.
We just read the next one.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Get down.
It says, Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they.
Because show me the record where Dagon made the heaven and the earth in the scriptures. Don't give me no bullshit tablet that the Canaanites wrote. You know that their God made. Give me the scripture where Dagon helped the Most High in the beginning create the heavens and the earth. Right. Go ahead.
It says, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens.
That's right. Because they're gonna. The scriptures say that the Lord is gonna visit these idols when He comes back. Yeah. So they're even gonna be visited, even though they're just wood and stone and whatever material they're made out of. Overlaid with silver and gold, the Most High is still going to visit them. So go to Judges chapter 2, verses 1 to 3, and then we're going to jump down to the 11th verse. Because I want to show you that so-called Trinity, Jake was worshiping it back then. You know, but it wasn't called it. You know, it was called a Trinity within the custom of those nations, but there were certain names that were applied to those so-called gods.
Right, it was different gods they were using as a Trinity.
Yep. So go ahead, brother.
Right, come. Judges chapter 2, verse 1. And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochum and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and I brought you into the land which I swear unto your fathers.
That's right.
And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And you shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land.
That's right. You shall make no leagues with them. Not one. Nothing. Go ahead.
You shall throw down their altars. But you have not obeyed my voice. Why have you done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides.
That's why the nation, even to this day, the nations are messing with us to this day. Why? Because they become thorns to our side because we didn't push them out. Period. You know? Was that the third verse?
Well, let me finish it. It says...
After that, jump down to the 11th verse.
Come. It says, wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare unto you.
That's why Israel went through all the tribulation that they did from back then until now, because they worship all the gods of those nations.
Right.
And what was the main thing that they were worshiping? The Trinity. All right? That triune God.
Because as the scriptures say, which you brothers should know, the scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun.
That's right.
So basically the same wickedness you see Jake doing today in these churches and everything, these so-called Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholic, whichever denomination they call themselves, where they worshiping these things such as the Holy Trinity, it just has a new face on it.
That's it. From
what they were doing back then. That's why the elders, when they used to go do the videos with the icons, which some guys got offended with those icon images, basically they were going off. Yeah, it was cool. They showed that Jake was ruling in Europe and Constantine and all.
Right.
But them niggas was wicked as hell, man.
Right.
And they were doing, and this is what we're reading about. They were doing, like we went to the other series, right? They was incorporating all those Babylonian pagan holiday or demon days into the Bible. So that's why when you see those so-called pictures of Jesus Christ during the Dark Ages, basically, really, more so is dealing with Tammuz and Semiramis. Because
I'm sorry, but not to cut you off, but you also when you look at some of those icons, you have like a triune,
right,
or three, because they were pushing that Trinity hard. Even though some of them images were dark, they was pushing that wicked, because the Babylonians were dark.
They were,
Nimrod, Tammuz, and Semiramis was dark. So that's what they were pushing. You know, so when they brought it up, the Black Madonna, that's Semiramis. She was a black woman, but she was a damn Hamite. You know, they were pushing that heavy, man. All right? And that's what was going on. So now jump to the 11th verse.
Verse 11.
This is going to go into it, baby. Go ahead.
It says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. Go ahead.
And served Balaam.
And served Balaam, which is who? That's another name for Nimrod. Go ahead.
And they forsook the Lord, power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt.
Now this is after they saw them great miracles. Go ahead.
and followed other
And
gods
followed other gods, plural. Go ahead.
of the gods of the people that were round about them,
Go ahead.
and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger.
Go ahead.
And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth.
Baal and Ashtaroth is who? Nimrod and Semiramis, which was part of the Trinity. All right, now go from there to Judges 10 and 6. All right. Judges chapter 10 and verse 6.
Come. Judges chapter 10 verse 6. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and served Baalim and Ashtaroth and the gods of Syria, and the gods of the Zidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord and served not him.
That's where the Most High was getting mad at Israel. Not because they popped the women of the other nations, but because they were keeping the statutes, the laws, statutes, and commandments of those nations, worshiping their gods. That's where the Most High was so angry and pissed off.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Baal is another name for Nimrod. And if the brother can, no, you got a scripture you're getting, but go to the book of Numbers 25, verse 1 to 3. And we're going to get that, just to show you. I mean, just the scriptures we already read already went into Baal, Balaam, and Ashtoreth. But I want to isolate each one of these, the so-called Trinity that they were worshiping back then, which constantly